you're going to start to hear a lot about aliens on TV.
What the f is that?
An egg-shaped object.
What the fuck? Look at those. Look at three of them.
Holy sh, guys.
It's just hovering in the sky.
Make sure you pay attention to your local UFO news.
Bremerton UFO Sighting 2013. The UFO sighting in Bremerton, USA, on September 15, 2013, shows a small, dark object in the sky. The person recording it captured several minutes of footage, where the object stays in one place for some time and then moves slightly. The sky is cloudy, making it easy to see the object against the gray background. The video was later shared on YouTube by the channel UFOmania 2015. People who watched the video have different opinions. Some think it could be a drone, a balloon, or even a bird, while others believe it might be something unexplained. There is no official explanation for what the object was. The footage does not show any clear details, but the long recording makes it interesting to those who study UFO sightings. Without more information, it remains a mystery whether this was a real UFO or something more ordinary. Hiker's discovery.
So the government are trying to hide this.
Could this be something the government doesn't want us to see? A hiker, recording his journey along a steep mountain path, suddenly spotted an enormous white object in the distance. "I've reached a point where they can't see me," he thought. The sight was unlike anything he had ever witnessed. It looked straight out of a science fiction movie. He stood frozen, unable to believe what he was seeing. It was a UFO. How had it arrived unnoticed? Fearful of being detected, the hiker decided it was best not to linger. Riverside wreckage. A group of friends decided to explore a nearby river, but when they arrived, they stumbled upon something unusual. Pieces of black metal were scattered in the water. It seemed like an aircraft had crashed, but the fragments didn't match any known plane. Some locals had spoken about a UFO crash in the area before, making the possibility all the more unsettling. The campers felt uneasy and didn't stay long. As they left, they couldn't shake the feeling that they had come across something beyond human understanding. Sky-high sighting. A man was testing out his drone for the first time when he spotted something odd. A massive black and silver disk hovered in the sky, slowly rotating in circles. It almost seemed as if the object was carefully observing Earth, as though deciding whether to visit. The craft remained suspended in the air, moving with quiet precision. Was it on a covert mission, or had it arrived with a crew of extraterrestrials? The man hesitated to fly his drone higher, leaving the mystery unsolved. Mexican mystery. On July 7, 2024, the night sky over Mexico lit up with an otherworldly glow. In a small town, residents saw a mysterious craft emitting a radiant purple light. Its movement and shape were anything but ordinary. It was unmistakably a UFO. The saucer's violet beams illuminated the night, leaving spectators in awe. As it flickered mid-air, some believed it was acknowledging their presence, perhaps attempting to communicate. Could the flashing lights have been a warning or a signal from another world? No one could decipher the message, and the mystery remains. Highway encounter. A driver traveling along a rural road in Mexico noticed something unusual: a shiny oval-shaped object floating in the sky. Unlike a plane or a balloon, it remained completely still, unaffected by gravity. The driver kept his eyes fixed on the object, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The more he observed, the more convinced he became that he had encountered an alien spacecraft. On what seemed like an ordinary drive, he found himself face to face with something extraordinary. Street crossing. Surprise. In the United States, a sky watcher spotted a massive object with glowing blue lights gliding silently above the city. Its sheer size and unusual radiance left him speechless. Its shape was unlike anything he had seen before, resembling a bow soaring through the sky. As he reflected on the sighting, he began to wonder if it was truly a UFO. He wasn't the only one. When the video was uploaded online, numerous others came forward, claiming to have witnessed the exact same thing. Maybe it's time we start reconsidering the existence of extraterrestrial life. Night sky spectacle. One night, residents witnessed an unusual event in the sky. Suddenly, bright lights raced across the darkness, illuminating the night. Shocked onlookers watched as a twisted structure emerged, resembling giant branches stretching overhead. Some wondered if it was a gateway to another world, or the image of an alien planet. The crowd stood frozen in awe and fear. After some time, the strange phenomenon faded, and the town let out a sigh of relief, glad the bizarre occurrence had come to an end. Hikers' hesitation. Two hikers trekking through the hills stumbled upon something strange. A dark, spaceship-like object floated silently in the sky. Just beneath it, an oval shape hovered, motionless. Was it part of the ship, quietly collecting information about human life? The hikers were filled with uncertainty. Where had these objects come from? One of them, driven by curiosity, decided to approach. But as he drew closer, a chilling realization struck him. It was an alien spacecraft. Overcome with fear, they both decided not to stay any longer and quickly left the area. Cuban curiosity. In La Habana, Cuba, an unusual event illuminated the night sky in 2019. Residents gazed upward as a glowing object hovered above the city. Its shape was distinct, almost resembling wings, while the lower section rotated on its axis. Some believed it was attempting to send a signal, while others were convinced it was a UFO engulfed in flames. Some skeptics suggested it could be an experimental device from the Cuban government, especially given the rapid advancements in technology in recent years. Serbian sighting. A bizarre sighting took place in Serbia. A man filming in his neighborhood suddenly noticed two glowing orbs in the distance. One shined blue, the other orange, and they appeared to be playing a game of hide-and-seek, vanishing and reappearing at the same time. Trying to make sense of the spectacle, he wondered if they could be supernatural in nature. But whether they were something otherworldly or had a more ordinary explanation remained unknown. Beach scare. Beachgoers were enjoying their time when their laughter suddenly turned into startled gasps. A dark, disc-shaped object appeared in the sky, hovering silently above the shore and casting an eerie shadow. People pointed in shock. Some even ran in fear. The strange craft remained in place for a few moments, as if observing the scene below. Then, just as suddenly as it had arrived, the UFO shot off into the distance, vanishing from sight. The beach was left in stunned silence, with everyone questioning what they had just witnessed. Sea stranger in Panama. A UFO decided to bypass the usual sky route and take a detour over the ocean instead. This unusual flying saucer skimmed just above the waves, almost as if it were on a cosmic surfing expedition. It flew so low that it seemed to be admiring its reflection in the water. As it zipped along, the waves rippled beneath it. Who knows? Maybe Earth's oceans serve as hidden highways for extraterrestrials. Now, people are left wondering if sea creatures have been witnessing alien visitors all along. Italian intrigue. A hiker in Italy was enjoying a peaceful trek through the hills when he saw something strange in the distance. An object was flying over the peaks, too far away to make out clearly. But it moved in a way no bird or plane ever could. it glided through the mountains as if gravity didn't matter. Maybe it was an alien craft exploring Earth's landscapes. Who knows? Maybe they don't have mountains where they come from. Skyward surprise. One day, the sky put on an unexpected performance. A massive cloud appeared, trailing wisps of smoke. But this wasn't any ordinary cloud. It was a UFO in disguise. Suddenly, a glowing orb shot across the sky, moving at lightning speed. In an instant, it dove straight into the cloud-like UFO. As the two objects merged, black smoke erupted, and the craft vanished at an astonishing speed. In a blink, the entire scene, cloud, orb, and all, disappeared into thin air, leaving behind only wild speculation and countless theories. Ancient anomaly. A group of locals exploring an abandoned site stumbled upon something unexpected. While filming the area, they noticed a long, unidentified object floating in the sky. Its design was unlike anything they had ever seen. As they watched in shock, the top of the craft opened, and a smaller object emerged, shooting into the sky. It seemed as if the smaller craft had finished whatever it came for and returned, leaving its larger shell behind. The real mystery is how aliens could fit into such a tiny vessel. Maybe they're much smaller than we think. What do you think? Ring in the sky. In Tucson, a normal day took a strange turn when locals spotted an unusual sight over a citrus farm in Lulz. A massive black ring appeared in the sky, floating without explanation. It wasn't a cloud, nor did it resemble anything familiar. Witnesses quickly took photos and videos, eager to capture the bizarre event. But before theories could spiral out of control, the mystery was solved. It was just smoke from an electric transformer. Sunny spectacle. Have you ever seen the sun move? Some people in Mexico claim they did, but it wasn't the sun they were looking at. A glowing, disc-shaped object hovered silently above them, catching everyone by surprise. It wasn't a plane. Planes don't shine that brightly. And the way it moved defied explanation. Maybe aliens were inspired by the sun and decided to create their own version of it. Either way, the onlookers were lucky it didn't do anything unpredictable. Airborne encounter. A pilot was flying high in the sky, scanning the horizon from his cockpit window, when something unexpected appeared. A black, disc-shaped object was coming straight toward the plane, moving fast and smoothly. It didn't resemble any known drone or aircraft. In that moment, he realized he had just witnessed a UFO up close. It was as if they were simply passing through, taking a ride across our skies before disappearing. Forest's secret. Two friends set out on a nighttime adventure deep in the jungle, but they didn't expect to find what they did. Hidden among the trees was a smooth black spaceship straight out of a sci-fi movie. There were no windows, no doors, just a sleek reflective surface that seemed to absorb the moonlight. A faint glow lined its edges, giving it an eerie appearance. The craft made no sound, no sign of life. Hands shaking, they filmed everything, determined to have proof of what they had just found. Were its passengers gone, or were they still there, just staying out of sight? London's nighttime. On June 22, 2024, Londoners saw something unusual against the backdrop of a full moon. A UFO drifted slowly across the night sky, grabbing the attention of everyone watching. But what made it even stranger was a long, wire-like structure that seemed to stretch across the moon's surface. With so many witnesses, there was no denying that something strange had happened. Some even believed it was a glimpse into another dimension. Nighttime giant. One evening, a visitor experienced something unforgettable. A massive, disc-shaped object appeared overhead, larger than anything he had ever seen. It moved silently, gliding across the sky like a shadow. He was sure it was an alien spaceship. But what shocked him even more was what happened next. Small figures seemed to be falling from the craft as it continued on its path. Who were they? Where did they go? Hopefully, they landed safely. Philadelphia's flying mystery. In Philadelphia, a stargazer had an unexpected encounter while watching the night sky. What started as a quiet evening turned into something out of a sci-fi movie. He captured video footage of a strange object moving at incredible speed. As if that wasn't bizarre enough, green laser beams seemed to be targeting the craft, almost as if an unseen battle was taking place. Whatever was happening up there, the UFO managed to escape, leaving behind more questions than answers. Chennai's Sky Visitor. On August 19, 2024, people in Chennai spotted something unusual in the sky. A silent object hovered over the hills, barely moving. It just sat there, as if waiting for something. Then, it started to drift. Its neon green lights glowed brightly as it moved through the sky. Some thought the pilot might be lost, trying to find the right way. Whatever it was, it looked nothing like an aircraft from Earth. Maybe one day it will return for another unexpected visit. Reporter's revelation. A reporter and some officials were filming the city skyline when something strange happened. A mysterious object appeared behind the buildings, moving in an unusual way. Before they could focus their cameras, it shot off at an incredible speed. Maybe whoever was inside didn't want to be seen. The officials tried to send a drone after it, but the object disappeared before they could track it. The brief encounter left them with more questions than answers, and a story the world would want to hear. Mexican marvel. A tourist in Mexico was filming the mountains when something unexpected caught his attention. A small orb of light appeared in the sky. It wasn't just hovering, it was moving down in a controlled way. As it got closer, it became clear this wasn't just any light. Then, right before it could be fully seen, it dipped behind the mountains and vanished. At that exact moment, the tourist's camera suddenly stopped working. Whatever it was, it left behind a mystery. Chinese countryside. A man in rural China was on his usual walk when he saw something straight out of a movie. A disc-shaped object floated right in front of him, hovering silently in the air. Its surface gleamed under the sun. Before he could get a closer look, it started to rise. It seemed like whatever was inside had finished its mission and was heading back home. A moment later, it was gone, leaving behind nothing but questions. Urban UFO. One evening in Seattle, a resident was filming the city skyline when something unexpected flashed by. It was too fast for the eye to catch, but the camera got it. A sleek object zipped between buildings, moving in ways no regular aircraft could. It was quiet, barely noticeable, but the footage showed its shape clearly. An alien spacecraft. Whatever it was, it had been there, moving through the city before disappearing into the night. Fading giant. Near a lake, someone spotted something massive in the sky. It was too big to be a regular aircraft and seemed to just hang there without making a sound. Though the view was blurry, its enormous size was impossible to ignore. It looked like it was waiting for something. Then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, it started to fade away, heading back to wherever it came from. Jungle Orb. An ATV ride took an unexpected turn when strange sounds led a man toward the mountains. As he got closer, a glowing blue orb appeared in the distance. Its light wasn't like anything natural, and the way it moved felt unnatural too. He revved his engine, thinking about going closer, but the orb was too far, and the darkness made it hard to see. Instead of pushing his luck, he turned back, leaving the mystery of the jungle orb unsolved. Alien encounter. A leaked video surfaced online, showing something strange deep in a forest. A creature lay on a stretcher, its head long and oddly shaped, with huge black eyes. Thick yellow ropes secured it in place. It wasn't human. It was an alien. Surrounding the stretcher were uniformed soldiers, standing guard, as if protecting something important. The video cut off suddenly, leaving behind more questions than answers. Some believe the alien spaceship had crashed nearby. Hopefully, it's in good hands, if the military even knows what to do with it. Unusual encounter. A man's peaceful morning walk took an unexpected turn when he spotted something sitting in the middle of his path. It had an elongated skull, a thin body, and smooth, grayish skin. It wasn't an animal, and it certainly wasn't human. His mind raced. Was this really an alien? Maybe it had lost its way, separated from others of its kind, and was now trying to figure out how to leave this planet. The encounter left him shaken, questioning everything he thought he knew about life on Earth. Caribbean curiosity. On July 13, 2024, people in Aruba and Venezuela saw something that made them stop in their tracks. It wasn't a shooting star or a satellite. As the sun set, a glowing object appeared and darted across the sky, moving in ways no human-made craft could. It twisted and turned, lighting up the sky like a giant flashlight. People watched in amazement as it zipped around in loops and sharp angles. No one knew where it came from or why it was there, but it was a sight they wouldn't forget. City's strange visitor. As night fell over the city, workers leaving their offices witnessed something unbelievable. A massive, oddly shaped object hovered silently high above them. On the busy highway nearby, countless drivers spotted it too. There was no way to explain this away. It wasn't a drone, a balloon, or anything familiar. Everyone who saw it knew they were looking at a UFO. The craft didn't move, as if it was watching the city below. Was it just observing, or was this a first visit before something bigger? Homecoming. Halt. One night, a man driving home noticed something unusual in the sky. A distant light hovered in place, too bright to be a star. Curious, he zoomed in for a closer look. What he saw left him stunned. An unmistakable UFO, glowing blue against the night sky. As he watched, the craft slowly started moving upward until it disappeared. It almost felt like it had come closer on purpose, as if it knew someone was watching. Brazilian sky. On a cloudy evening in Brazil, a group of children playing outside spotted something incredible. Two bright orange circles appeared far in the distance. These weren't planes or anything they had ever seen before. The glowing orbs moved slowly across the sky, standing out against the dark clouds. The children stood in silence, realizing their bedtime alien stories might not be stories after all. They had just witnessed something they would remember for the rest of their lives. Skull discovery. While exploring a remote area, a man stumbled upon something he would never forget. A massive skull, unlike anything from Earth, lay partially buried in the dirt. Its shape was strange, nothing like any known animal. But what stood out even more were the markings covering its surface. These weren't just cracks or scratches. They looked like carvings, almost like a form of writing. Was this the skull of an alien that somehow ended up here long ago? Its origins remained a mystery, but the sight of it would stay with him forever. Forest flame. Driving through a dense forest, a man spotted something strange to his left. At first, it looked like an orange flame flickering in the distance, but it didn't behave like fire. Instead of spreading or dying out, it pulsed and moved with intention. That's when it hit him. This wasn't a wildfire, but something else entirely. Could it have been the glow of an alien craft? Maybe even a signal for another one to arrive? Or had he just witnessed a UFO about to take off? Forest farewell. A camper was jolted awake by strange noises outside his tent. Stepping into the moonlit forest, he saw something unbelievable: a massive spaceship hovering silently. Without warning, a low humming sound filled the air, like a giant bee buzzing. Bright white lights flashed along the craft, and slowly it began to rise. Whatever their purpose was, they had done what they came for. Unfortunately, the camper had no way of knowing what that was. So, what are your thoughts on these sightings? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more content.